What's poppin', people? Tobin here with you. Thank you for tuning on in. Much appreciated. If you're a fan of the radio show, Tobin and Leroy, you guys can get that now on the Tickets YouTube page, youtube.com/theticketmiami. Go over there, go subscribe, join us, like us, blah, 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 all that great stuff. I'll put the link in the description while you're here. Subscribe here, like here. We'll get down with some silly sauce as it goes. So I have found this to be the most outrageous topic that continues to get life after life after life. I think this is going to be the conclusion of it, though. I don't really know where else it goes here until these teams face each other, which maybe will happen in the AFC Championship. Who knows? But the Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes, Tua Tagovailoa controversy that has gone on now for what seems like 3 weeks. I don't know when the original comments were. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. And it was like, just wow, man, when is this thing going to die down? When is this going to get to the point where people are going to stop talking about it? And then like Monday, Ryan Clark from ESPN, the Pivot Podcast, former safety, and he's like tweeting out about Tyreek Hill, calling him a liar, just basically saying he's flat out a liar, doesn't believe anything that he's saying. He's just saying it to gas up his podcast. So Ryan Clark tweets out, bruh, Cheetahs knows he's out here lying on his podcast. I feel him, though. Everyone is talking about his podcast, and I'm sure Tua feels good about it, but he doesn't mean anything the stuff that he said about KC or Pat. And Tyreek Hill says, I'm glad that you're living two lives, bro. Congrats. Which, it's funny for a couple of reasons. One, yeah, as a podcast host and Ryan Clark, like, why are you hating on a guy for getting attention on his podcast? Like, you're not excited when you get a viral clip of whomever, Michael Beasley crying or, Mike Tomlin saying something inspiring. Like, that's what everybody who is a content maker wants to happen. I find that funny that a guy is out here basically calling him a liar to get clicks, where it's like, well, first of all, one, that's the business of people who are in the content creation business. And two, I think the idea that he's just boldly saying lies about Patrick Mahomes is silly sauce. First of all, he didn't lie about Patrick Mahomes. He goes out there, he believes Tua has one trait in particular that he likes above Patrick Mahomes. And we are yet to see, I think, the best version of Tua Tagovailoa. People got all upset about it because of the way he said that his tenure went with Kansas City and all this type of stuff. But I will say this, like, look, Kansas City did not find him valuable enough to keep around, give the extension that he wanted, and now he's on a new team. And so when you say that, and when you are basically thrown aside and said, well, we're going to give this quarterback hundreds of millions of dollars, and you were like, we think we could replace you. Why wouldn't that come with some level of petty? Like, why wouldn't that come with some, okay, you think you're going to, go out there and replace me with Juju Smith-Schuster? Okay, well, we'll see. But I think you're going to learn something. And the other thing that I found crazy about this is like Tyreek Hill being spoken about like he doesn't have the credentials to say something like this. Like, this is not just some guy who is out here and talking about, this is not some third-rate receiver. It's not Brian Hartline coming out and saying, Chad Henne is more accurate than Dan Marino. It's, it would be something to the effect of an all-pro, one of the best receivers in the league, having an opinion on something that he'd probably know about, how good the quarterback throws him the football. And the other idea is, okay, he's saying things that makes Tua feel good about it. Yeah, like, why is that a problem? I'm still flummoxed by this one. Why is it a problem that Tyreek Hill cannot be positive about his teammate? Why can he not feel a certain level of protection towards Tua Tagovailoa? Going to be probably important this year on how Tyreek Hill produces, goes out there. Obviously, he feels like he has something to prove. Why wouldn't he want to go out there and say some things that give Tua the confidence that he could be a productive quarterback in this league? This happened with Underthrow Gate, where the team puts out this ball that gets thrown to Tyreek Hill that looks like it's underthrown, although it's kind of hard to tell from the angle, but looks like it's underthrown. It gets 7 million views on Twitter. And so he comes out because he is the most established guy on the team, puts out a montage of good Tua throws to kind of, take the heat off him. Did it work? I don't know. I still see that one being thrown on ESPN from time to time. But look, it's good that the guy's got his back. Tua spent an entire year last year basically being told, we don't have your back. We don't believe in you. We miss Ryan Fitzpatrick's leadership. We want to go with Deshaun Watson. We want to go in all these different directions. Like, nobody really felt like he had the guy's back other than Jalen Waddle, but Jalen Waddle's a rookie. And so it's good, I think, for Tagovailoa to have the sense that Tyreek Hill has his back. So Tyreek Hill, roundabout way, Tyreek Hill ends up coming out on his podcast, episode 2. It had to be said. That is the podcast for all those looking for it. And Tyreek Hill said, this is crazy, that he received death threats on social media over what he said about Patrick Mahomes and Tua Tagovailoa. Which, come on. I mean, first of all, some of these sports fans, the lowest of the low. The idea that a Kansas City Chiefs fan feels that he's joking or not joking to make a death threat or a death remark towards Tyreek Hill because he had the opinion that Tua Tagovailoa is more accurate than Patrick Mahomes. You sound like a crazy. I mean, you were legitimately the scum of the earth, a crazy person, and I cannot believe that person cannot be eradicated from social media to say something like that to a guy for having an opinion about something he clearly has the credentials to have an opinion about. Like, we're not sitting here and listening to a linebacker. We're not sitting here and talking about a defensive end. We were talking about a guy who caught a lot of passes from Patrick Mahomes and has caught in a lot of practice passes from Tua Tagovailoa. I think the man's allowed to have an opinion on that. Call me crazy. I think the man's allowed to have an opinion on how he thought Kansas City utilized him. He played there for a long time. This idea that, just be happy, just shut up, don't do this. I think it's good that he's coming to his new situation he's defending. I was getting into an argument with Leroy today. He goes, well, you didn't say this when LeBron left and how he was behaving. And I did some mulling on it with, first of all, they're not apples to apples, but I'm not going to get into that. You guys can go check out the podcast and our whole debate. But doing some mulling on it, the thing that was actually funny about LeBron James when he left the Miami Heat was he was kind of a jerk to everybody in Cleveland. He was like not in a good place. Remember, he had to go take a break with his back. He was always subtweeting about Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love and fit in, fit out. Like, he was always giving his new teammates the business. He didn't do any of this stuff. It was all basically, I was the conquering hero coming to, Cleveland, and you guys should be thankful that I'm here. And, it wasn't a whole lot of the immediate scrutiny towards LeBron James. A lot of that stuff started trickling down after. Remember, he had a very classy return to Miami. People were applauding him. The smiling face with hidden agendas thing that Pat Riley came out with, that was after they traded for Goran Dragic. And that was really kind of the first look into, hey, things didn't end fantastic in Miami. And they didn't look like they were going so rosy in Cleveland. Now he ended up making 4 straight finals. But I'm saying, like, the way he was portraying his teammates in Cleveland was not fantastic. And the same thing happened when the year Kyrie Irving left and he wanted to trade basically the whole roster. Remember, Isaiah Thomas wouldn't even look at him after he hit a game winner. So LeBron was doing the opposite of this stuff that Tyreek Hill is doing. Neither here nor there. I just think that if LeBron was in Cleveland and gassing everybody up and talking everybody up and everybody's the best and this is better than Miami, yeah, I would have hated it and I probably would have been mad about it, but I would have gotten it at least. The thing that was weird about it is LeBron left Miami and then was taking a poop on everybody in Cleveland. And Tyreek Hill says in his podcast that he says, we all know Patrick Mahomes is great. We know that. He's arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the league, top 2, and he's not number 2. So he's saying he's the best quarterback in the league now. But right now, I'm going into a new season with a new quarterback who's trying to head in the same direction as Patrick and do great things and lead this team to a Super Bowl championship. Who is also great, in my opinion. He just doesn't have the accolades of yet. I believe in him. This is the thing that's crazy to me. For people to have such little faith in what Tyreek Hill was saying, thinking that he was actually saying the idea that Tua is better than Patrick Mahomes, you're just not listening to what he had to say. And for people to go crazy for it, to say, oh, how dare you say Tua, who everybody thinks stinks, how dare you say he's better? Didn't say that. And now you have him on record saying he's the best quarterback in the league. He just happens to believe in his new guy who he's trying to win with. Oh, heavens to Betsy. How heinous of Tyreek Hill to believe in a teammate, to believe that he can get things done, to believe that Tua Tagovailoa can do some good things in this league, that he can have some. How dare he? What a bastard. That definitely deserves death threats. Social media football fans, KC fans. And look, I got some KC fans in my life. I'm like, hey, what'd you think of this? They were hurt. All right. Relax. Should you have the confidence that Patrick Mahomes, look, here's the thing that's funny about it. All I heard from Kansas City with him gone was, oh, see you, man. We're going to be fine without you. We don't need him. We'll be fine. We got Patrick Mahomes. System's going to work itself out. We got the guy. We got the engine that makes it go. You're just the wheel. All right? You're just a wheel that we can replace on the side of the road, and the thing's just going to keep turning and turning and turning. And then he has the audacity to say something about his importance, how he was utilized, how people looked at him, and people are going to look. People said, "What? What? How could you say that, Tyreek? How could you say that? How could I say that? You guys said that Juju Smith-Schuster was going to be me." Miss football. I really just want all this stuff to kind of be decided on the field. I'm very much looking forward to this upcoming season. I think the thing that's going to be crazy, though, with Tua is he is going to be, every game, every throw is going to be overly scrutinized. This is such an important year. And I do tell people all the time, like, who ask me, like, what do you think the Dolphins are going to do? I genuinely don't know. I don't know. I think it's going to be a lot better. Like, in my heart of hearts, I want that. I think that because the roster looks a lot better. How could it be worse on offense than it was last year? With the constipation that was going down there. The skill positions all look a lot better. They seem like they've improved the offensive line, all on paper. We don't really know yet. But with the moves they made, it would feel impossible for them not to be better than last season. It's just a case of how is the quarterback going to play and how is the rest of the offensive line going to live up to what they need them to be, which is kind of always the question with them. But I to see that Tyreek Hill was getting death threats or just even abused by fans. Like, even if you don't take social media death threats serious, nobody should ever do that. But if you don't take it serious, just the fact that you had Chiefs fans, getting crazy with him. And it's like, well, was he sitting here and, did he not give you all those good years? Does he not have the credentials of somebody to speak on this? And did he really take a dump on Patrick Mahomes? Patrick Mahomes was like, oh, I was so surprised. It's like, you're all right. You were surprised. Good for you. I'm so sorry that that Tyreek Hill cannot support a guy who he plays with now, and he always has to say Patrick Mahomes is the best. Like, he should start every press conference now. It should be, ladies and gentlemen, before we recap week 3 against the Bengals, I just want to say Patrick Mahomes is the best. Tua's not as good. Go ahead with your questions. Like, that's honestly what the Chiefs fan wants. That's what the NFL media wants. Ladies and gentlemen, I will take questions on Dolphins Patriots, but first, Patrick Mahomes, best quarterback ever, best football player ever. Tua Tagovailoa does not deserve to be talked in the same breath as him. Go ahead with your questions. Who's got a question? Anybody got a question? Like, that is what they want them to do. That's what they want him to do. Wild to me, man. Absolutely wild.